When we saw it, we could hardly believe it.
As a scientist, it was very surprising.
So when the results came in, I was like, wow.
When I saw the data, I couldn't believe it.
This was completely unexpected.
February 2012. Researchers at the prestigious North Carolina Research Campus Human Performance Laboratory make a startling discovery. One that answers some important questions and opens the door to even more. Metabolism is the name we give to the chemical reactions that take place inside our cells in order to sustain life. When these chemical reactions happen, they leave behind traces, almost like fingerprints. We call these fingerprints metabolites. One of the premier institutions for studying metabolites and their importance to human health is at the prestigious North Carolina Research Campus Human Performance Laboratory. Dr. Niemann, the Vice President of the American College of Sports Medicine, is the author of 9 books dealing with physiology and exercise testing, more than 200 peer-reviewed publications, and more than 300 articles in health and wellness magazines.
We have a national reputation for testing various sports nutrition products and their effect on performance and exercise-induced physiologic stress. So this campus, the North Carolina Research Campus, we have several universities that are here, including Duke, UNC Chapel Hill, NC State University, and we're working together with various companies, Dole Foods, General Mills, and we're all working here together really under one mission, which is the connection between nutrition and health and performance.
The North Carolina Research Campus was established to bring together researchers from a variety of different universities, from a variety of different companies, all sort of focused on health and nutrition and agriculture-based research. So in that sense, it's a very unique structure.
And so in late 2011, Dr. Niemann and several other PhDs carefully crafted a scientific study.
The way that we conducted the trial was to randomly assign half of the subjects to one treatment and half of the subjects to the other treatment. It's a double-blinded study, meaning that we as the investigators had no idea who we were assigning to what condition, an A condition and a B condition, but we didn't know what those were. So the subjects are assigned to either A or B. They come in and they do the first trial and they ride as hard as they possibly can, and then they cross over, meaning that if they were on condition A to start with, they would then transition to treatment B or condition B for the second trial, and vice versa, B to A. And so in that way, we're really testing, we're taking everything out of the equation as best we can by just leaving it to the athlete and the bike and riding as hard as they possibly can.
The rigorous protocols of the double-blinded crossover study took several weeks, and the analysis of the blood draws took even longer. They were expecting to see something when it was combined with exercise. Instead, they found chronic results. That is, results that happen before exercise.
We thought it would do something during exercise, but not after a week of drinking it. After working with the bioinformatics statistical division, we were able to determine that drinking over 1 week caused a shift in 43 metabolites. Not a little shift, it was a large shift that caught us by surprise.
We were just like, wow, there's something really interesting going on that we weren't picking up from our traditional markers.
And the last data set that we had come in was metabolomics, and there were these huge differences in free fatty acid mobilization. And so that was kind of a shock to us because we weren't expecting to see anything at that point, but there's certainly something going on there which is really interesting.
We have rarely seen such a drastic difference. In the compounds that we look at, we're looking at probably about 150 to 200 compounds. For 43 of those signals to change, that's a quarter of the metabolite profile that we're monitoring. So it's a huge bump in metabolite shifts due to just ingestion of one product. So it's a drastic difference.
I didn't believe it. So when I saw this, you know, that 43 metabolites were differentially, they were at different levels. I didn't believe it. And I've done studies with microarray analysis where you're looking at thousands and thousands of genes, and you might find 2 or 3 genes that are differentially expressed. But here we are in metabolomics, and you find 43 things that are different. It was astounding.
Many of the metabolites were related to plasma-free fatty acids. So the athletes actually started the exercise with a lot more of these free fatty acids in their blood. The reason that's important is then the muscles will actually use that as fuel, sparing the muscle glycogen and the use of amino acids, which is what we found as we analyzed the data.
And the free fatty acids are very important because during exercise, we'll oxidize those to make energy in the form of ATP.
So what we found in the study was that there was increased fatty acids that were available. And fatty acids are a fuel source for exercise. So if they are available, then what could be happening is we might be able to go a little bit longer. We might be able to recover quicker between bouts. So there's a lot of things that are coming out that are quite exciting.
I've noticed my training and my times in my meets have improved significantly. And learning about the research behind it, I know that just boosts my confidence and reinforces what I already know.
It gives me even more confidence and more understanding of why this is doing what this is doing to my body. When I can be able to train at this level at 51 years old and compete with the 25-year-olds and blow them out of the water time after time, it is the science behind it just totally blows me away.
It's no surprise to me. I've already been using it and I've already experienced it, so I am not surprised at all. And it's just nice to know that my own personal experience is backed by a scientific study that validates what I've already experienced.
I've experienced all of these tremendous benefits over the past few years when I'm doing these world records, and maybe didn't understand it, but was fearful to go off of the product. And with these new studies, it's really helped me to understand why I don't get sore and why I'm able to just lock in this strong pace and hold it for so long.
So yeah, regardless of the exercise intervention, in this particular study, the chronic effects that we saw after 1 week supplementation, that would apply to more than just athletes.
Caused this increase in free fatty acids. Every understanding from the literature is that these probably came from the fat stores in the abdominal area. And we'll be taking a closer look at that. We found that the fats go up in the blood. If you're not exercising, those fats will still be used to support the body's metabolism for life.
Simply drinking for 7 days mobilized fuel stores in the body, fuel stores that almost certainly come from abdominal fat. Without exercise, the freed up fat stores will be used by the body as fuel. Since this fuel source is available at the start of exercise, it's likely that muscle glycogen is spared.
Extremely important data, and we look forward to doing further research. These data we feel are very important and fascinating, and we intend to better understand what's in the drink and this shift in the metabolism that occurred. We want to understand what that means for every individual.